I want to start with 3 facts, and I promise by the third one, your jaw is on the floor. Fact 1. Marvel announced this Blade movie almost 7 years ago, with an Oscar-winning lead, and to this day, not a single frame of it has been filmed. Fact 2. In that same time, the old Blade, Wesley Snipes, came back and got a huge fan-favorite role in Deadpool and Wolverine. So the guy they replaced showed up in the Marvel universe before the guy they hired. And fact 3, the one that really gets me. This movie has now burned through 2 directors and 6 different writers, and they still don't have a script everyone agrees on. 6 writers. Let that number sit there. So how does a movie with everything going for it become the single most cursed project in Marvel history? Let me walk you through it, because it only gets crazier. Because it started perfect. July 2019, San Diego Comic-Con. Mahershala Ali walks on stage, puts on a hat that just says Blade, and the entire hall loses its mind. And here's the part people forget. This wasn't even Marvel's idea. Ali came to them. He just won his 2nd Oscar. He called Marvel up himself and pitched playing Blade as his version of Black Panther. The studio was so confident, they announced the movie with no director, no writer, and no release date attached. Just Ali and a hat. That's how much faith they had. Hold on to that, because everything after this is the slow-motion collapse of it. So let's start with the directors, because this alone is hard to keep track of. Director number 1, Bassam Tariq, came on in 2021, then left in 2022. Director number 2, Yann Demange, took over, then dropped out in June 2024. And there was almost a director number 3, Cary Joji Fukunaga, the guy who directed the last James Bond movie, who was lined up to take it before the deal fell apart, reportedly because Marvel wanted someone more studio-friendly. So that's 2 directors chewed up and spit out, and a third who never even made it to the chair. And right now, that chair is still empty. Nobody is directing this movie. Now the writers, and this is the number that breaks people's brains. 6 of them. Stacey Osei Kuffour, Beau DeMayo, Michael Starbury, Nick Pizzolatto, Michael Green, the Oscar-nominated guy behind Logan, and Eric Pearson. 6 separate writers, each one taking a crack at this thing, and not one version stuck. And at one point, a draft reportedly buried Blade as a supporting player in his own movie. In a movie called Blade. That's how lost it got. Then the cast started bleeding out. Aaron Pierre, who'd been attached, was gone. As the project kept getting rewritten, the role he signed on for basically evaporated. He'd later land at DC as Green Lantern, but that came after Blade, not instead of it. Delroy Lindo was let go. And here's the wildest creative U-turn of the whole saga. There was an entire version of Blade that wasn't even set in the present day. It was a 1920s period piece, with Mia Goth playing an ancient vampire goddess named Lilith. They built the costumes, did the chemistry tests, got it ready to shoot, and then Marvel threw the whole period concept out and started over. Those period costumes they'd already made? Marvel ended up selling them off to a completely different movie, Ryan Coogler's Sinners. That's how far back to square one they went. They were recycling the wardrobe into other films. And now the release dates, and you need to buckle up for this one. Blade was first set for November 2023, pushed to September 2024, then February 2025, then November 7th, 2025. And then in late 2024, Marvel did the brutal thing. They yanked it off the calendar completely. No new date. Predator, Badlands took its November slot instead. So a movie announced in 2019, with an Oscar winner ready and waiting, got pushed, reshuffled, and finally pulled entirely, with absolutely nothing put in its place. So here's the question everyone's actually asking. Is Blade dead? And I'm going to be completely straight with you, because this is the part that's reporting, not confirmed fact. Officially, no, Marvel has not canceled it. Kevin Feige has said on the record it's still happening with Ali, set in the modern day. But the trusted insiders are painting a much darker picture. Jeff Snyder came out and flatly said, quote, "Blade is dead, and that Marvel's new plan is to skip the solo movie entirely and instead introduce Ali's Blade inside a Midnight Suns team-up film, alongside characters like Ghost Rider and Moon Knight." The logic is almost funny. If you can't crack his solo story after 6 writers, just drop him into someone else's movie and the problem disappears. And under all the chaos, there's a genuinely sad human story. Mahershala Ali has been attached since 2019. He's now 52 years old. He has been ready this entire time. When a reporter asked him about Blade at a premiere, his answer was just, "Call Marvel, I'm ready." Nearly 7 years. An Oscar-winning actor sitting there, willing to go, and a studio that cannot figure out its own movie. And there's a real fear now that by the time they crack it, the very thing that made this exciting, Ali in his prime as Blade, will have quietly passed them by. So where does that leave the Daywalker? Blade is the rarest kind of failure, a project Marvel got completely right on casting and completely wrong on literally everything else. The smart money now says, if he shows up at all, it's not in his own movie, it's buried inside a team-up. Which means one of the coolest characters Marvel owns may never get the solo film he was promised nearly 7 years ago. It's not officially dead, but it might be the closest thing to it Marvel has ever had. So tell me, should Marvel just rip the bandage off and throw Blade into a team-up movie to finally get him on screen? Or do you hold out for that solo film, no matter how many more years it takes? Drop it down in the comments. And that's that for today's video, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.